Hey guys, what is up? A very good morning and welcome back to a new daily market outlook. So starting off with euro dollar. So euro dollar is currently pushing back in towards the downside after pushing all the way up in towards the extreme and pretty much in towards that final buy before the sell-off in towards the downside. So if euro dollar is to move in towards the downside, it should happen from here. Personally, not getting into the markets at the moment. What I'll be waiting for on euro dollar is a break of the overall fractal low over here, and then I will have my confirmation that euro dollar is ready to start pushing further in towards the downside. Overall, just going back in towards the daily time frame, we can obviously still see that the daily fractal structure is also still in touch from the same high on the 4 hour over here in towards this 4 hour low. So simply what's just happened is that we're just moving from this sell before the buy over here, which we tapped into, in towards this buy before the sell. So let's see if the market can kind of sustain this bearish momentum from this final buy before the sell. Obviously, it would be in our favor due to the overall swing structure here on the daily. So this swing high in towards this swing low, meaning euro dollar is still bearish from a daily perspective. So we do still expect a new lower low to be formed. But for that to happen, we do need the 4 hour now to start pushing in towards the downside and to respect the overall extreme of its swing range and ultimately break this fractal low over here, because once that fractal low is broken, then the overall swing structure will be bearish, but also the overall fractal structure will be bearish. So we'll have structural alignment and we'll be ready to look for those shorts, at least in my or from my perspective. So we do have some demand situated in these two wicks over here, which we could potentially react to. But obviously this sell over here before this bigger buy once again in towards that higher time frame supply zone is your stronger area of demand. So we really need to break this in order to see that further downside momentum. And then we'll create some new supply over here, which will then provide us with that next push down in towards over here. So that's what I'm waiting for on euro dollar. Just going in towards 15 at the moment. I was looking for potential shorts up here, but I was just waiting for pretty much, like you have this supply zone obviously, and then you kind of have the range over here, but I was waiting for kind of like a spike of that range as well, and then kind of like that move downwards. But obviously we can see that the market kind of like has already moved in towards the downside. So I'll just be staying out and waiting until Monday to see, okay, can we potentially on this Friday push and break this fractal low, and otherwise we wait for it to happen on Monday. Obviously we can also push up higher, but I'm not looking for any longs inside a 4 hour extreme of the overall premium versus discount, because this obviously is your swing range, so I'm not going to be buying all the way at the top near a strong high. So moving in towards the dollar index. So the dollar obviously also has seen a BOS, meaning a break of structure. So preferably what you'd now see is a pullback. So how can we time a pullback? We'll break a fractal structure. Sadly, this over here is your fractal low. So if you want to see that fractal break of structure, you would need to see something like this in order to, let's say, confirm that a pullback is coming. Therefore, I'll just be waiting on the dollar index, not doing too much with it. Obviously, after BOS, we expect a pullback. There's no fractal structure really to deal with. So we'll just have to wait and see if the dollar pulls back. Obviously, we are still inside this daily area of demand, but I'll just pretty much be waiting and seeing what is next for the dollar, and most likely just stay out until Monday. So moving on in towards Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar moved up higher, kind of like with the internal daily structure, but has also provided kind of like this daily BOS over here. So daily BOS in towards the highs, meaning that we now have this entire area of daily demand. So pretty much just refine it in towards this daily zone over here. After daily BOS, what to expect? We expect a pullback, so we could start seeing a pullback soon on Aussie dollar. Now going in towards the 4 hour time frame, what can we see there? Well, obviously also BOS. What do we expect after BOS? We expect a pullback. So what I'll be looking for on Aussie dollar is a takeout of this high over here, because that means that this then becomes your fractal low. Then if we break that fractal low, you kind of create supply over here, from where we can then look for shorts in towards the downside to fill up that clean move to our left and trade Aussie dollar back in towards the sell for the buy, which is going to be your demand zone. So that's Aussie dollar. For the rest, not really engaging with that pair. Keep an eye on the 15-minute as well, but 15-minute was also not that much. I'm still waiting for more development. Obviously, for kind of like the real push in towards downside, this 15-minute zone is what we'll have to break. This is your strong area of demand, a lot of liquidity lying above it. So let's see if the market taps in towards there. You could potentially also look for a long that's inside these 2 wicks. If the momentum of the market is very strong, you do kind of have these 2 wicks as your 4-hour area of demand. And then in line with the overall daily and 4-hour structure, it could be a potential good buy. So I would say keep your eyes out for that. That is kind of like the only trade that I see if we do move in towards downside. So not looking for any shorts as of now, just waiting for this zone, of course, or obviously the lower zones in line with the overall sell before the big buy. So that's Aussie dollar. Then moving on in towards pound dollar. So pound dollar, what happened? BOS now has moved in towards this 4-hour area of supply over here, this buy before the sell. Very obvious with some liquidity highs right below it. So that's what we're kind of reacting to. I mean, it's very similar to euro dollar in some respects, but overall, there's no real fractal low that's gonna kind of indicate that a pullback is now ready to come. It could just start falling. Preferably what I would see is kind of like one more push up, break this, and then kind of like boom, and then boom in towards downside, for example, in towards this area of demand or in towards this area of demand over here. So I'm not going to be looking for any shorts as of yet, only if this plays out. Otherwise, we just wait for the market to move down lower in towards our demand zones, and then from there we look for those potential longs. That is it for me on pound dollar. Going in towards 15, also very messy 15-minute structure. So I'll update this one on Monday further. Just wait for Friday development to see what happens today. Going in towards NZDUSD. Obviously also 4-hour BOS. So now NZDUSD is bullish. Also from a daily perspective, we are fractal bullish again. So everything is pointing in towards further upside. So overall, what I'll be looking for is, can we get kind of like a pullback in towards this sell before the buy? What do we need for that? Well, we need fractal structure to break, right? Because after BOS, how do we know that a pullback is incoming? Because after BOS on swing structure, right? So we know that a pullback is coming after you kind of like see the internal structure start to break, and then we can follow that internal order flow. But for that to happen, we need a fractal low somewhere here. But as we can see, every single time the candles create higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, meaning that there's no fractal low except for this one down below over here. So what we would preferably want to see is kind of like a quick wick, kind of quick liquidation spike over there. Then this becomes your fractal low. Then you can look for a short from here and trade it back in towards this area of demand. So that's the only short similar to pound dollar that I'm looking for. But if we do move in towards the downside, then obviously we'll be looking for longs from here. Going in towards 15-minute real quick. That's pretty much that. For now, we're just sustaining the overall 50-minute bullish order flow and the 50-minute bullish structure. So just follow that for now, as long as that holds. So we do have some demand obviously over here, which is holding price. If the market is to break these highs, then this is kind of like your final area of supply. If we can also break that, then you can obviously look for those longs once again. Very rangy pair. I don't expect much from today at the moment. So that's that on NZDUSD. Then moving in towards gold. So gold, guys, obviously we kind of like liquidated the high over here, and then straight away you see a bearish reaction. So very good to keep an eye on liquidations. They're very interesting to spot and very clear as well. You can really clearly see a lot of momentum in towards the highs. People think at break of resistance, then what happens? Boom, everybody gets stopped out again because they thought support and resistance trading, right? So that's nice to see. Overall, not really doing anything with gold at the moment. We could still move up higher. I'll be waiting personally for Monday to see what happens in that regard. Obviously, if we go in towards the 4-hour, then you do have a fractal break of structure. Let me see, do we have? No. So we don't have a fractal break of structure, meaning that this is currently your fractal low, and this is currently your fractal high on the 4-hour. So as long as that holds, we continue to expect for the upside. If gold does break this low, then I'll definitely be looking for shorts to fill that move down and trade it back in towards this area of demand. If we do not break this low and we do break this high, because this is a kind of like a no man's land where we currently are, if we do break this high, then you can look for those higher prices. But otherwise, just wait for this low to go. So either this low breaks or this high breaks, and then you look for the trade. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you all a fantastic day. Make sure to join the Discord, link in the description down below. And on Monday, we'll be back. Thanks, guys.